One of the big ideas behind the FIRE movement is to try and save as much of your salary as possible. 50%, 60%, 70%. Now, for a lot of you, that sounds crazy. It's difficult, and I'm not gonna lie, but if you're able to find that motivation, you can make some big decisions and hopefully deploy some interesting tactics that help you accelerate your path towards financial independence. So here are some of my decisions and some of those tactics that you could try and learn from. Hey guys, it's Sunmin here and welcome back to Your Money Game. So one of the things about the FIRE movement and financial independence is making big decisions. My motivation is I have family all around the world. My sister's in the US, my brother's in Melbourne, my parents are back in Malaysia, and I'm here in Singapore. So financial independence for me means choice and the ability to go and visit my loved ones when I want. I'm not huge on labels, but if there's one group out there that I really resonate with in terms of values, I think it's the minimalist group. Now, the reason why I say that is my interpretation of what being a minimalist is actually two big things. First of all, it's really recognizing the needs that drive you and working to manage those needs and, if possible, minimize those needs. And the second idea behind it, I think, is about finding contentment and enjoyment in the simple things in life. So let me walk you through the specific decisions I made and some of the tactics that I use thanks to those minimalist principles. The first big decision is being conscious about the way I live and the way I spend. Now, it might not sound like a decision, but if you're starting out and you're not really used to it, it actually becomes a series of small little decisions that you make that build up over time. One of the tactics underneath living consciously is trying to minimize waste. Now, I watched this documentary a while back and they talked about how an American family would be walking to a supermarket, walking out with 4 bags and then dropping one in the parking lot, and they wouldn't even notice. That's how much food they waste on a regular basis. Now, I did a bit of research and it turns out that in Singapore, the average household wastes up to 2.5 kilograms of food every week. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty crazy. So if you kind of lived a little bit more consciously in terms of how much groceries you buy, think of the amount of money you can save. It's not sexy at all, but it's really about knowing what you're going to be doing with the groceries, having a list, and then going to the grocery store and buying it. And from there, you reduce your chances of buying stuff you don't need and end up throwing away. Part of being conscious about spending is also related to the question that the FIRE movement asks, which is how much does it really matter to you? I ask myself, do I need a branded good? Or can I just buy something that's fairly generic? Buying canned tomatoes, chickpeas, beans. I don't really need the branded stuff. And you'll be surprised how much that ends up saving you over the long run. Another part of living consciously is me kind of identifying certain values that I resonate with and trying to adapt my life to fit that a little bit better. So sometime last year, I started reading a bit more about how much meat production impacts the environment. And for me, that was a message that I really resonated with. So as a result, I started reducing my meat intake. And from there, I started eating much more plant-based proteins. Long story short, it saved me a fair bit of money. So it wasn't really only good for my wallet, but it was great for my values as well. The other way to align yourself was something that I talked about briefly in my previous video about how you can choose products that align with the lifestyle that you lead. And one of the products that I really value is AIA Vitality, and it really helped me out. It not only saves me money on the gym, but every time that I kind of hit certain fitness targets, I'm able to get cashback vouchers for my groceries. Before I go on, I'm gonna need a favor. If you've gotten any value out of my videos, I really would appreciate a like and a subscribe, as well as click on that notification button. Every bit of your support counts to help me grow. Thanks. The second big decision is learning to do things yourself. Having a certain amount of self-sufficiency allows you to kind of save money in those areas. Besides skill, one of the bigger pushbacks when it comes to DIY, especially if you've got a little bit of money and you're very comfortable spending, is people tend to say that, look, I don't have the time or I don't have the energy. So what they do is they end up saying, I'm going to pay for it anyway, and not realize how much they become reliant on all those type of services. So my big tip for this area is really not so much about finding the time, but finding the flow. Take sweeping for example. Nobody likes sweeping, I don't. But what I do is I try and find that 15-minute gap. Any time between a period where I'm not super tired, but at the same time, I'm not very clean. So for example, I'll do my sweeping of the house and then I'll jump into the shower. Another thing interesting about flow is that once you kind of figure it out and you have this rhythm going on, within the flow itself, the more you do it, the faster you get, the more efficient you get. And then next thing you know, it's second nature and you don't really have to think so hard about it anymore. The other thing that saves me a whole lot of money is meal prepping. Not only am I saving money from it, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting better nutrition because I know exactly what I'm doing with my food. Meal prepping and bulk cooking can be really daunting if you're not really used to doing it. All you need to do is find a really simple recipe to start with and gradually grow your skills from there. So this isn't a cooking channel, but what I've done is I've included a simple recipe below because I think anybody should be able to make something simple, and the more you're able to practice, the better you become, and then you start making more and more dishes that you really enjoy. The last decision you might have heard of before, and it's called delayed gratification. But on top of that, it's also strategic gratification. So let's say, for example, you see the latest phone coming out and then you feel that temptation, and it's very easy to go down a rabbit hole, watching YouTube videos, reading reviews, and getting sucked into that desire. But the longer you prolong that decision of buying, what you realize is that the actual feeling of wanting the phone actually reduces over time. So use that to your advantage. If you have that burning desire, try your best to put that decision off first and let it settle. And then if you realize it's so important that you need to get it, fine, it's okay. Choosing when you buy things is really about making a decision to buy stuff, for example, only when there's a sale, or being smart about when certain sale seasons are and then taking advantage of them. One of the things I realized is in the past, I used to buy games and stockpile them. But I realized that that's such a weird habit because nowadays, not only do I have less time to play, but I realize that if I'm paying premium upfront just to store the game, why am I doing that? And thanks to all these e-commerce guys out there, these days there's sale after sale after sale. But not all of them are great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a chart of all the major sale seasons in a year. And from there, you can plan your purchases a little bit better so you can take advantage of the sale seasons. Part of being strategic is also finding the right tools to use. So not only are the e-commerce platforms great because sometimes they're giving you deals and cashbacks, but whether it's the credit card that you use, these days there are platforms like Shopee that give you cashback the moment you spend. And there are so many other different kind of services out there like Burple, Fave, Entertainer that really help you save a lot on the things that you would naturally spend on. But the only thing to be really careful about is you don't end up spending simply because you have it. So you really got to get honest about whether or not you use it, and if you are and you can save on it anyway, then you might want to consider getting it. So those are the 3 big minimalist decisions that I made in my life. But I think the more important thing is going back to that motivation. Why is it do you want to save that much? And from there, you'll be able to use that energy, put it towards a plan that helps you get there. If minimalism is something that resonates with you, great. Use some of the tactics that I talked about, find your own. All you have to do is take action, put together a few tactics you're comfortable with, and then you can play your own game better. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll get right on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Now before I leave, there's a favor I have to ask. I really need your support to help me grow my channel. So please like my videos if you've gotten any value out of it, subscribe to my channel, and on top of that, click on the notification button. I release videos every Sunday and you'll get alerted when I do. Thanks, and remember to play your own game.